Attention, due to the nature of the films discussed, the Civil Gore podcast may contain adult language and themes.
Hey there, everybody. Welcome to the Civil Gore podcast. I am your host, Tim, and this is a special Summer Slaycation preview episode.
Yes, and this is Brian. And Tim, I don't know about you, but I got my my beach attire here. I got the sunscreen and a list of movies that we're going to be covering over the Summer Slaycation.
Right, so you guys that are new to the Civil Gore podcast, the last 2 years we have done our Summer Slaycation series, and that's where we take a franchise and spend a week or possibly two in some cases and go through the entire horror franchise. That means every film. I think last year our big one was Hellraiser, which was like 12 movies?
Yeah, that was a long one. Yeah. We have a longer one in the works coming up. We just literally that could take up the entire Summer Slaycation because we don't even know how many movies there are in that franchise. We got to look. But it's up there. And I guess if we ever decide to do Puppet Masters series,
God,
that could be pretty long.
Which I do want to do.
We actually have a mix. I think we have two longer ones and two shorter ones.
Yeah, and I think this was going to be one that people really like because we've done all the big horror franchises at this point. We've done Texas Chainsaw Massacre, we've done Freddy, we've done Jason, we've done Halloween, we've done Chucky. So we've hit all the big guys, but now we're going to get into some franchises that may be a little less well known in some cases, but I think are still going to be a lot of fun, and they're still known enough that they're not going to be obscure or anything. So
in fact, one is probably could be considered a pretty big that like actually spreads out of just the horror fan genre because it was it was pretty big in pop culture, and it kind of put going to the horror movie in the theater kind of back on the map at this point.
Right.
So I think that this is a nice mix. I think I think you got your and each one. It's not like all just like slashers. It's all like there's a little bit of twisting to these. So this will be good.
Yeah, so let's go through just kind of what our schedule is. This is, of course, subject to travel plans and stuff. There may be a date swap here and there, but we're going to try to stick to this schedule. So take the dates as a little bit preliminary, but this should be roughly the order everything goes in. So coming up June 28th, we're going to kick off the series with the Hatchet franchise.
Yes, one of my favorites.
Yeah, me too. And I have actually dodged seeing the last entry in this series, which is, of course, Victor Crowley, which was the fourth Hatchet movie. I actually purposely did that because I knew we were going to do this for our Summer Slaycation, and I wanted one of the movies to be fresh that I had not seen before. So I've kind of avoided seeing that one so far, even though I really am dying to see it.
Yeah, it's a great one, too. It's such a good entry, and it has our con buddies in there, Felissa Rose and Tiffany Shepard.
Yeah, I can't wait to see
both
that.
of them in one movie, so that's always a plus.
Yeah, so the Hatchet series will be back-to-back. We'll do one on June 28th and one on July 5th. And first episode covering, of course, the first two Hatchet films, and then we'll do the Hatchet 3 and Victor Crowley to wrap up that series.
Yeah, I mean, we probably could have done that in one episode, but I kind of like spacing it out a little bit. It gives us more time to dedicate to each film without it also being like a full in-depth episode just per film. So it gives it a nice balance. And usually the first film in the franchise tends to take a little longer, and with 4 movies, you just might as well split it 2 and 2.
Yeah, and if you guys have not heard a Summer Slaycation before, it's still a normal episode, so we'll still have first chop and dismemberment and all that kind of stuff. So we do kind of do a brief overview of these films. It's not as deep a dive as we typically do. So just for time purposes, otherwise these episodes will be 5 hours long.
Yeah.
And
nobody wants
that.
Especially Tim when he's editing.
That's right. So the next one up in our series will be the Fabulous Leprechaun franchise. This one, I know we've threatened to do this one around St. Patrick's Day every year.
Yeah.
But we finally got around to this one. And I tell you, Brian, I have only seen the first Leprechaun movie. I have not seen any of the others.
I think I've seen 1 and 2, possibly 3, but that's it. And if I saw 3, it was probably not like a full watch. It was probably like on cable, and I just had it on. So yeah, so I'm really looking, and I hadn't seen the original, and oh my god, and how many years? So this one I'm actually really excited for it because it'll be really fresh again to watch through all of these.
Yeah, these are almost all brand new to me. We're going to be covering the first 4 films on July 12th: Leprechaun 1, 2, 3, and 4, which is in space, of course.
He went to space early.
Yeah.
Right? I think usually you wait a little bit longer to go to space.
Yeah, and then the second.
And he never went in 3D, ironically, too. He skipped the 3D.
Yeah, he dodged the 3D gimmick, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, we can rectify that.
We can make
that. Then the following week on July 19th, we're kicking things off with Leprechaun in the Hood, Leprechaun Back to the Hood, Leprechaun Origins, and the one I'm most excited about, Leprechaun Returns, because it has our another con buddy, Lyndon Porco.
Yes, it was awesome. And I just got that. Actually, I ordered it this week. Well, actually, recording it, you'll hear this a week after I got it. But I got it this week in terms of recording time. I just got my copy. So I have the complete series of Leprechaun now officially, all on Blu-ray.
Nice. So, wrapping things up at the end of July, we're going for Scream, the Scream franchise. This one I'm very, very excited for because I have not rewatched the Scream franchise in a long time, and that's one I really enjoyed. Scream, the original, obviously was a watershed moment in the horror genre. It really revamped. I think it really revitalized the horror genre, which had kind of petered out with some of the tail end Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street franchises in the late 80s, and things had kind of started just going downhill in terms of quality, and Scream kind of just revitalized the whole genre, I think.
Yeah, and what it did was get a fresh, well-known cast, I mean, there were people in there you knew.
Yeah.
And especially in the trailer, you have, they're showing Drew Barrymore, even though she was not in it as much as you would be led to believe possibly, but there Neve Campbell, I mean David Arquette, Courtney Cox. I mean, you had a pretty big cast. The first one too, we even had Henry Winkler.
Yeah,
I mean, so it's like this was a great series, and it kind of like poked fun at itself without making it cheesy, and just gave you a really good, while simultaneously giving you a really good slasher series. So, but it was important. It's important to the horror genre, and I think it gets overlooked for that fact.
Yeah. So we'll be covering Scream and Scream 2, of course, the first week, and then Scream 3 and Scream 4 the second week. Man, I haven't seen Scream 4 since it came out in theaters, honely. So I'm really looking forward.
I saw all these in theaters.
Yeah, I did too. I'm looking forward to just revisiting and seeing if they still hold up today, because they kind of kicked off the whole wave of new slashers. There was tons of clones of these that came out after this. Like the Urban Legends and the Valentine and I Know What You Did Last Summer, and all that stuff was inspired by Scream.
Yeah, and those, again, think about it. Those had, they took big stars and put them in there, which you didn't really get in the slasher genre a lot of the times.
Yeah. And then finally, we're wrapping things up with an absolute classic franchise, and one that I was fairly new to. I had not seen most of these until fairly recently when that fantastic box set came out. And this is the Phantasm series. This is one that's been highly suggested, and one that I've been wanting to do for quite some time. We're going to be covering Phantasm and Phantasm 2 the first week, and Phantasm 3, Phantasm 4, and Phantasm 5 on the second week. That'll be mid-August when we start wrapping that series up. And man, I'm looking forward to that one, Brian. I have watched everything but 5 so far out of the box set, and again, I was saving one for the Summer Slaycation, and even listening to some of the commentaries and stuff. These are just fantastic, and ones that I never appreciated as a horror fan until recently.
Yeah, and this is one series that just for one reason or another just never, it always escaped me. Like, I had seen the first one years back, but other than that, I think that's really the only one I saw. So to me, that's like a new one, and I'm kind of glad, because it's one that it's just, how everyone has that series of movies they just for some reason or whatever don't get around to seeing.
Yeah.
And that's it for me, you know, and this is the one for me. And so that's why I'm kind of glad that we do these summer slaycations, because it gives it a good reason to get through the whole series, and it's always fun. And like I remember Saw, like I hadn't seen all of Saws after a few, so when we did that last year, that was really fun to see the whole evolution of the series. And it's a unique perspective to see them all back to back like that in a short time, because you can really appreciate the evolution of the series. And you know, of course, on the other side, you can always see the duds really quickly.
Yeah, but I think you're gonna really love this series. I really do. When I was watching them, all I could think of was, man, Brian's gonna just absolutely love these. I think you're gonna fall in love, because while some are better than others, I think all of them have their particular charm. This is one of those franchises, sort of like Child's Play, I think, where every film is good enough. You know, there's none that are just like complete duds that you wouldn't want to rewatch at some point. So yeah, nice. We're going to close it off strong for sure.
Yeah, that's why I think I did. That's why I put that one as the last one, because that'll be a fun one, I think, and that'll be the last, good one to end with. And that I too have that. Tim and I had a couple of dual box set purchases together. We both just kind of agreed. We're like, we need to own these. That's it. Like that was the Chucky one we ordered literally together in the. What was it, a Century 21?
No, it was gosh, what was that makeup place? Sephora. It was in Sephora.
Sephora, yeah. Yes, that's right. Well, Julie and Olivia were off going there. We Tim and I were ordering our Child's Play box sets.
Yeah, no, Forever 21's the one we got kicked out of for looking too old.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, because they said no, you haven't been 21 in forever, so get out. But
still laugh about that.
Yeah. So that's what we got planned. I mean, I think this is going to be a fun one this year. I mean, all our summer slaycations have been pretty fun. I think this one's a little, definitely the more unique one out of the two previous, though.
Yeah, I think this one's got a lot of variety. You have, the Leprechaun franchise is not going to be universally good. We know that. So right. That's kind of your one that we have some films we can make fun of. The Hatchet series is just solid all around.
Oh, it's every one I love.
Scream is also a very solid franchise, and I think it's going to be fun to talk about the differences between those movies and how they tie together, and again, their impact on the horror genre. And then Phantasm's just an absolute classic. That one ranks right up there, really needs to rank right up there with the Halloweens and the Nightmare on Elm Streets and the Jason and the Friday the 13th as one of the seminal horror franchises of all time. So I think we're closing it out strong. I think we got a lot of fun, different variety franchises to go over, and I'm looking forward to this one a great deal.
Yeah, same here. This will be, I think, just to be a great series of Slaycation films. So where you guys are, buckle up, because you're gonna have a good summer ahead with your buddies at Civil Gore.
Yeah. So guys, as you're listening to this, Brian is on travel. Through the magic of time travel, we've recorded him prior to his leaving. So, Brian, best of travels. Have a safe flight out to the West Coast. I'm sure you're going to have a blast. I wish I was going as well.
I know. That's about one of the few drawbacks to this trip is that Tim will not be there. And usually Tim and I meet up on these trips a lot. So, but just it wasn't able to come to be this year. But we got to see each other at the con, and we'll see each other in the fall. But yeah. So, but I will definitely be reporting back, as by the time you listen to this, you'll probably have seen 100 posts by me in various different spots.
All right, guys, so let's pick it up with our dismemberment. These are our Blu-ray releases for June 25th, 2019, our dismemberment.
Wait, no, please, God, no, don't come up,
All right, so first up is one I'm really looking forward to. This might actually be my pick of the week. This is the Green Inferno Collector's Edition from Shout Factory. Brian and I covered this one during our cannibal-themed month, and I really enjoyed this one. Of course, directed by Eli Roth, starring Lorenza Izzo, Ariel Levi? I don't know. Daryl Sabara, Kirby Bliss Blanton, Magda Apanowicz, and Aaron Burns. And this was a lot of fun. This one was kind of a nod to the old Cannibal Holocaust, Cannibal Ferox, those kind of movies. So, but I thought Eli Roth did a pretty good job with it. This one has a really packed disc. It's a 2-disc set that includes the original CD soundtrack, along with some bonus tracks that are not in the movie. An interview with co-writer, producer, director Eli Roth. A new feature with actors Lorenzo Izzo, Daryl Sabara, and Kirby Bliss Blanton. A new behind-the-scenes footage, which is almost an hour of never-before-seen footage, which I'm really looking forward to. It's got an audio commentary with Eli Roth, producer Nicholas Lopez, and cast members Lorenzo Izzo, Aaron Burns, Kirby Bliss Blanton, and Daryl Sabara. Some publicity featurettes, a theatrical trailer, TV spots, and still galleries. So definitely put this one on your list. Looks like a really good Shout Factory edition. After that, we got The Dark Side of the Moon. This is a 1990 film coming from Unearthed Films. It's about in the year 2022, a mysterious systems failure causes the crew of a spaceship to be stranded on the dark side of the moon while rapidly running out of fuel and oxygen. And kind of then turns into a bit of a slasher movie. So it's directed by DJ Webster, starring Robert Sampson, Will Bledsoe, and Joe Turkel. And for special features on this one, we have an audio commentary with producer Paul White and Stephen Biro, some interviews, and production and dialogue notes. Looks kind of cool. I haven't heard of that one. So check that one out. Then we got another fantastic collector's edition. I don't know. Now I'm second guessing my pick of the week because we have the Night of the Creeps Blu-ray. This is, of course, a classic from 1986. And this one is about a college couple in 1959 who see an object plummet to Earth like a meteor. And the boy accidentally swallows a space slug that shoots out. In 1986, two freshmen roam the campus and stumble across the corpse of the boy who swallowed the space slug. And once thawed out, the corpse comes to life. So that's kind of an awkwardly worded synopsis. But this one's directed by Fred Decker, starring Tom Atkins, yes, Jason Lively, Steve Marshall, Dick Miller, Jill Whitlow, and Greg Nicotero. This one has several, again, like most Shout Factory releases, has a fantastic lineup of extras. 2-disc set, once again, has the theatrical version on disc 1, a making of 5-part documentary on the making of the film, a look at Tom Atkins featurette, deleted scenes in a theatrical trailer, and then disc 2 has the director's cut, 2 audio commentaries, one with writer-director Fred Decker and one with actors Tom Atkins, Jason Lively, Steve Marshall, and Jill Whitlow. Horror's Hallowed Grounds, which is a feature I always enjoy with Sean Clark. A bunch of interviews, and let's see, what else? That's it for that one disc, but really, really cool collector's edition there, so that one's definitely one to pick up and put on your buy list. After that, I wish I had Brian here to guess the synopsis for this one. This is called The Beast in Heat. So that would have been a perfect one for him to guess on. This one's about a beautiful, nefarious senior female SS officer / doctor who creates a genetic mutant human beast, half man, half beast. This one's directed by Luigi Batzella, starring Macha Magal, Gino Turini, Edio Kim. So this one has a few little features on here. A new remaster of the film, Fascism on a Thread, The Strange Toy of Nazi Exploitation Cinema, which is a feature-length documentary, and Nazi Nasty, an interview with Stephen Thrower, author of Murderous Passions, as well as a trailer. So that one looks kind of an odd little title to add to your collection, but interesting. Next up, The New York Ripper. This is coming at us from Blue Underground. This was a 1982 film, and it's about a blade-wielding psychopath on the loose in the Big Apple, who is killing beautiful young women, as NYPD detectives follow the trail of butchery from the decks of the Staten Island Ferry to the sex shows of Times Square. Each brutal murder becomes a sadistic taunt. In the city that never sleeps, he's the killer that can't be stopped. So this one looks interesting. I do see featurette. I do see features. Actually, this one has a lot of features. This is a limited edition 3-disc set. Wow. Okay, I don't know if the movie lives up to this packed disc, but I should say this is a Lucio Fulci film, so that's why it's getting the deluxe treatment. But it has a brand new 4K restoration, an original motion picture soundtrack CD, an audio commentary with Troy Howarth, who is an author of Splinter Visions, Lucio Fulci, and his films. Multiple interviews. I'm not going to list them all here. There's a ton. NYC locations then and now, which those are always fun to look at. A theatrical trailer, poster and still gallery, and a collectible booklet. along with a 3D lenticular slipcover. So this is a cool one to have on your shelf. Again, I haven't seen the movie. I can't speak for the movie's quality, but that's a fantastic disc. Next up, Night Killer from 1990. This is a Severin Films release, directed by Claudio Fragasso, starring Peter Hooton, Tara Buckman, and Claudio Fragasso. A serial killer with a rubber-like Freddy Krueger mask terrifies the city of Virginia Beach. One of his victims is a beautiful Tara Buckman in the role of Melanie Beck. She manages to survey, I think they meant survive, but the killer is still chasing her. And this one has several good features on it as well. This one has a new 4K remaster, an interview with the director, and I don't even want to say this is a R-rated word here, mind F-bomb. I'm going to keep it clean. Interview with screenwriter Rosella Drudy and a trailer. So that looks kind of cool. Monster on the Campus Blu-ray. This is another one of those weird Scream Factory releases that they keep coming out with. I tell Brian I'm threatening to collect these. This one's from 1958. Monster on the Campus. This is directed by Jack Arnold, starring Arthur Franz, Joanna Moore, and Judson Pratt. And for features on this one, we have a new audio commentary by author Dana M. Reams, and a new audio commentary by Professor of Film Studies and author Mark Yankovic. Theatrical trailer, still gallery. So another one of those kind of 50s camp horror things that I think would just be fun to own on Blu-ray, because where else are you going to see those? You know, you're not going to see those on Netflix, and you're not going to see them coming up on Vudu to rent. I mean, where else are you going to get those films? That's why I think Blu-ray media really still has a place. And then finally, the American Horror Project Volume 2 Blu-ray. I didn't know there was a Horror Project Volume 1, but this is a collection of films: Dream No Evil, Dark August, and The Child. This is an Arrow release. These movies came out between 1970 and 1977. And this one looks pretty cool. I don't know what was in Volume 1, but this has some really cool features with these films. Dream No Evil has a brand new audio commentary, some featurettes, audio interviews. Dark August has a brand new audio commentary as well, with some other interviews and featurettes. And The Child also has a brand new audio commentary with new interviews and featurettes. So these are definitely pretty cool. I don't know a whole lot about these actual films. 1970 Dream No Evil says here that it's a haunting, moving tale of a young woman's desperate quest to be reunited with her long-lost father, only to find herself drawn into a fantasy land of homicidal madness. Fantasy land, not to be confused with Donald Sutherland. And 1976 is Dark August. In a story of a man pursued by a terrifying and deadly curse in the wake of a hit-and-run accident. And then 1977, The Child is a gloriously delirious slice of horror mayhem in which a young girl raises an army of the dead against the people she holds responsible for her mother's death. Now that one sounds really, really cool. So yeah, those are the Blu-ray releases for this week. I was not going to do a disc memorment for this minisode actually, but when I saw that lineup, I just couldn't resist. Just too many really, really good films and discs on there not to tell you guys about them. So I hope you appreciated that, and I hope you go spend your money on them, because those look really, really cool. I know I'm going to definitely pick up that Night of the Creeps and probably that Green Inferno. Those all look spectacular. So guys, again, thanks for bearing with us as we've sorted out our timing issues and our travel issues and our trips and that kind of thing. Like I said, we will be getting back to normal here with our Summer Slaycation. Very much looking forward to that. Those are 4 fantastic franchises that we're going to do. And we'll see you guys back here next week. Thanks for listening.